seriously, no.
Right,
No, just let me say this.
Seriously,
you're repeating yourself. We've heard this
I've
before. We
stepped
don't
in
need to
deeper
hear it.
puddles. Shut the fuck up.
All right. Anybody
Right.
else got any questions?
Yeah, is it okay if I ask? Unless someone else wanted to
Yes,
go?
go for
Yeah,
it.
I don't want to hijack anything. Yeah, I was gonna say, you remember that debate you had with Vosh?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he sucks, but I don't know. Do you still believe that race is real, or like have you amended your opinion
Yes.
on that?
Vosh's points were dumb as shit. I was just too
Okay.
tired to debunk them. So Vosh's point was that what was it? You can't give a finite like definition of exactly where the difference is. Well, clearly, there's a difference between red and orange, even if we don't know exactly where the distinction between the two is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that doesn't mean there isn't an objective difference between the two. Like they're clearly a different frequency of light, and so there is an objective difference between the colors, even if we don't know exactly where to draw the line. Same thing is true of echoclines. Echoclines are just different genetic patterns in speciation by area. It's definitely an objective thing. Now, obviously, it wouldn't correlate exactly to like skin colors. It's a much more complicated than that. But yes, race is definitely real.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna try and make his point a little more eloquently because I think he was just being a cunt about it, and I don't think he was understanding what you're saying. So I agree that there are observable physical differences. More the point that's being made though about race realism is that the categories that we assign particular traits and particular qualities, these are what seem to be arbitrary, right? So the
Sure,
clustering,
absolutely. So,
right?
so just like when evolution started, we tried to categorize different animals as being in certain species. Like we said, hippos were related to elephants.
Mm-hmm.
We were wrong about that. It was completely just based off of homology. We tried to make guesses based off of the physical differences, and we got many things wrong. But then we had a more accurate measure of genetics that we did, and that made it not arbitrary. So the fact that we got them wrong initially by our guesses based off of skin color and physical differences doesn't mean it's not a real thing. It just means that we didn't have an accurate measure originally.
Mm-hmm. No. But I'm saying that I think anyone, including race anti, well, maybe not the most niche of a race anti-realist, but I think most race anti-realists, myself included, would agree that there are physical differences, right? That's not really the dispute on the table. It's more so like, are there inherent physical differences that we would assign to the race? And I think you'd be prompted to disagree with that, right? Do you think that there's some inherency to being black? Or do you think it's like associative and kind of like how we cluster it? Because I imagine your answer is more along the latter.
So race is echoclines. I use race to mean echoclines. So echoclines are real. Echoclines do have physical differences. We know that for a fact because like all of the races are won by a specific group of Africans from a specific like mountain in Africa. They win all the long distance races every time. So we know there are physical differences based off of genetics, based off of echoclines. Absolutely, 100%. We can prove that with certainty.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I'm saying that the categories themselves seem to be what's arbitrary. We would agree that the differences between the categories are there. What we're saying is that it doesn't seem like it's fundamental
the
between
categories. The echocline. So we can say there is this group of people who reproduce in this spatial area of the world, and it produces this particular physical trait. So it's not arbitrary. It's specifically based off of location. These group of people tend to reproduce together more than a group of people farther away.
Right.
I guess I would like to know what are the important things that echoclines do for any kind of next further anything. Like what can we say like about them that's important?
I mean, like I at least personally would take it a step further, right? Because like if it's just about the clustering, like yeah, we can cluster it based on location. We can do it on political status. You can do it on height, like Vosh pointed out. We can do it on religion. We can do it on age. Like we can make the biological category of grandmas, and there will be physical differences between grandmas and non-grandmas, right? Like grandmas will probably commit less crime, and then it'll tend to be the case that grandmas will have gray hair and a wrinkly skin, and will have weaker immune systems.
What you're saying makes no sense. Like we can make up new categories of different things, but there are actual categories, and we give those things names. So like we can categorize things based off of stars, and we can say stars are giant bodies that emit light in space, or we can say stars are things that we drink water out of. We can name them different things, but the names don't matter. There is an objective, real thing there, and that we're describing.
They're objectively real grandmas, right? Like you would agree that they're old women, correct?
Sure. Yes. But
so
that's not the category we're talking about.
No. The point I'm making is that like we're still describing something real, right? That's not the disagreement.
Yes.
So just the fact that we're describing something real doesn't tell me anything. It's about the nature of the metaphysical category, because that's what it is at the end of the day.
No, it's not a metaphysical category at all.
It's ontological.
It's just a physical category. It's physical. Metaphysical means something specific.
I don't mean supernatural. I mean with reference to ontology. But
right. So there is a physical difference between race. It's that simple.
Yeah, and
it is a real thing.
A
it is
physical
based on
difference between
genes.
grandmas
It exists.
and non-grandmas.
Yes, there are other physical differences between other categories. That doesn't mean that.
And I'm saying the clustering
real.
is arbitrary. I'm not saying that it's
no. The clustering is specifically based off of genes, which is specifically based off of location. So that is not arbitrary at all.
Wait a second. So if it's about genes, then we could find genetic differences between conservatives and non-conservatives.
Sure, you definitely could.
Conservatives are essentially capable of qualifying a race.
No.
Why
not?
Not?
That's stupid.
Why?
Because again, it's not based off of reproduction.
Why does it have to be based on reproduction?
That's what makes it non-arbitrary.
Why?
Because it's determined by natural processes that we don't control.
Why is being a conservative fundamentally different than being, for instance, black? Like what's the difference? You're saying
it's based off opinion.
Reproduction?
Based off opinion. Conservative based off opinion.
But you just admitted a minute ago we can find genetic differences.
Sure, we can find genetic differences between anybody. That's
the point. So when you say they're real physical differences, right? It seems like it's not really all that meaningful.
Objective, subjective. Objective are things true independent of opinion. Subjective are things true because of opinion.
Yeah, and it can be objectively true that someone fits a conservative label, right?
Yes, but conservatism is an opinion. It is subjective. So conservatism itself is not objective. It does not exist independent of opinion. Genes do.
Wait, and then you admit that there are genetic differences between conservatives and non-conservatives.
Yes,
so that's still a feature.
Help your point. So that's a stupid thing to say.
No, that's actually completely helpful. You just admitted there are genetic differences, and you said the difference is genetics, but genetics is present in both cases. So
yes, genetics is present in every case of human beings. You're an idiot for even trying to bring
what?
That up.
So then you can cluster it any way you want, arbitrarily, right?
No, you can't. That's not how.
Wait,
it
why
works.
not?
That's
Wait,
stupid
why
to
not?
say.
Wait, why not?
Because again, I'll say it again. Echoclines are a result of a natural process independent of opinion.
And
conservatism isn't.
Becoming conservative isn't? You don't think
conservatism is a
wait,
thing
aren't you a
humans.
physicalist? You don't wait, hold on. Aren't you a physicalist? You don't think that people develop?
Stop.
I'm just asking you.
Is an idea. Conservatism is an idea made up by humans. It is by definition subjective. Race isn't.
I'm not talking about your belief as a conservative. I'm talking about your beliefs of whether conservatives exist and come to develop.
Yeah, so your beliefs, conservatism is an idea, subjective, made up by humans. Race isn't. That's the difference.
Wait. So now you're just presupposing your very answer. That's called begging the question.
No, race is in echoclines. Echoclines are objectively real. They are real. Yes.
So hold on. You're saying they're objectively real, and that's what's in contention. So you're just reasserting the claim. So why is that true?
Because science says they're true.
Can you show me a paper that says that?
Echoclines are real.
That says they're objectively real? Show me.
Echoclines are real, yes.
Show me. Show me where it says objectively real.
Sure, if you want to pay me to do the research and do the pirate.
So you don't actually have the research. So you don't have the research.
Nope, I do, but I'm not gonna.
So, sure. So tell me the name.
I'm not gonna do research.
Tell me the name.
Nope. Pay me or shut the fuck up.
Okay, so that's what I thought. Okay, check please.
So I crushed your dumbass argument.
Oh yeah, my dumbass argument. There are genetic differences between conservatives and non-conservatives, but there are genetic differences like
between me and you.
Clap. Yeah, that's my point. So you're a race anti-realist.
You're a moron.
You just conceded.
You're a moron.
You just
You're a
conceded.
Complete moron.
Okay, TJump. Go back to being depressed.
Mute this dumbass.
Mute the dumbass. Shut the fuck up.
Bye-bye, dumbass. Clearly, echoclines and reproductive proclivities, like species, do exist, you dumbass. Holy shit. Saying species aren't real, clearly bats and elephants are real, you moron. There's clearly a difference based off of location to proclivities of different kinds of genetic traits, which lead to different kinds of physical traits. You're an idiot. Claiming that somehow similar to conservatism, which is an opinion, makes no sense. You're a dumbass. Goodbye.
Yo, I said it before and I'll say it again. I knew for a fact that if I was more aggressive and not so nice, I wouldn't let him interrupt me, and I wouldn't just be kind of friendly. I would be a little more aggressive and be a little more assertive, push him back whenever he tried to be aggressive. It was not going to go well, and what happened? He got fucking blown out. And my win is actually better than Vosh's, because he said he was tired in the Vosh conversation, and he wasn't tired in mine. Not only that, but I fucked him up really, really, really badly. Not only did he admit he didn't have a single study of the compilation of all of the eco-client evidence. Like, in spite of having all of that, not a single study name, not a single Google like direct to me. Come on, dude. Like, you had to have something if you actually have some sort of research developing this idea, which you don't, of course. But nonetheless, I BTFO'd him, and his like attempt to strawman me at 2 different points is hilarious. That's how you know. That's how you know he was losing badly. I mean, he was literally like, bats objectively exist, elephants objectively exist, yeah, and grandmas objectively exist, and people who fit the label of conservative objectively exist. So that wasn't my argument, you fucking idiot. And I love how he like could have answered the question of whether there was an inherent difference in black people. And not only that, but let's go to the second straw man. What did he say? I mean, being a conservative is subjective. I mean, no, it's not. You can agree with conservative values subjectively. That's true. But I mean, actually being a conservative, saying X person fits the category of conservative, that's not subjective. That doesn't depend on your opinion. So long as you have a set label, you can say whether or not they fit that label. So, you lost. You got beat up in 10 minutes. I embarrassed you. You're a fucking idiot. Dude, I'm so happy. I got my and I won very, very badly. I'm Cain Velasquez, and this fucking idiot was JDS.